Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ignore the Machine, the Bradley J. Show. It's very brief. They're going to be very brief. Yesterday's was an hour. This is going to be quick. Question, and answer this question even after we're live. Who should have right of way when push comes to shove? Bicycles or pedestrians? As I understand it, bicycles should kind of have the right of way over cars in a way, because they're more vulnerable, and pedestrians should have a right of way over bikes. There's a sort of sense that a person standing in a bike lane deserves to get hit. That's the feeling I get from cyclists. And, that's not right. I mean, if, say, you're in the street, and you have no light, etc. Say you're where you're not supposed to be. Do you deserve to get hit by a car? No. And pedestrians don't deserve to get hit. Please understand that pedestrians, for one thing, are not used to heavy bike lanes. This is not Berlin, where bike lanes have been around a long time in heavy use. This is relatively new here, and so it's not ingrained into people. They need to look both ways before crossing a bike lane. So, give them a break. I've gotten yelled at and I've gotten almost hit, and it seemed like, well, 100%. The person, the rider came as close as they could, and then yelled back, that one's on you. You're not supposed to be there." But wait, I have to cross the bike lane, and I just want to ask if you agree that pedestrians need to have right of way over bikes. They're more vulnerable. Also, and I don't want to sound like a curmudgeon, but bikes do ignore lights, and I can see where people in automobiles would be angry, because if a person hits someone on a bike, their life is forever changed. They'll feel horrible. They can get sued. And so if you're on a bike, you need to do your part to not get hit. You're a vehicle, and the reason that you obey traffic laws is so you don't get hit. So blasting through a red light puts you at risk, but it also puts the driver at risk. Their life will never be the same. And it also really puts pedestrians at risk. And here's why. Pedestrian is waiting for the light to change. And when the light changes, the cars are stopped. There's a certain expectation that cars are stopped. Sure, you should still check, but it is it's incumbent upon the automobiles and the bikes, all vehicles, and a bike's a vehicle, to stop at the red light. Yes, pedestrians need to look still, but you need to stop at the red light. If you don't, you're an a-hole, like a real a-hole. And I wish there would be some sort of law enforcement, not a cop, but somebody with the power to enforce that law. I don't know how you do it, but figure it out. I don't want to get into the whole registration for bikes, but maybe, registration and automatic ticketing for that registration if you blow through a light. I feel vulnerable out there, and something needs to be done. Cars, by and large, don't blow off red lights. Bicycles do. By far, more people blow the red light, and that's even with a dedicated bike lane red light. So the light turns, the walk sign happens, and a heavy e-bike or some big person on a bike flying can kill you, can certainly break your bones, give you a concussion, detach your retina, and there's this feeling among cyclists, and I've spent a lot of time with a lot of bike messengers, that they got a chip on their shoulder, and F everybody, including pedestrians. Look out, pedestrians. Get out of my way. Well, that sucks, and it causes hard feelings with me and bicycles. So one thing I'm thinking about doing is just sitting there. I don't know. I'd like to see somebody take some action. And again, I don't want to be a curmudgeon, but hey, you think you're superior because you're on a bike and not a car. Well, you are, but it's because it's a simpler, more rudimentary form of transportation. Well, walking is even more basic. And so, the way you feel about cars, I feel about pedestrians. I feel vulnerable to both automobiles and kind of equally vulnerable to bicycles. Please, cyclists, give a little heads up to pedestrians. And further, in my neighborhood, where recently really great bike lanes were built with dedicated lights, and this is something bike people will be upset about, I think, is that motor scooters, like Vespa style motor scooters, delivery people, ghost stores that don't allow you in, they just do delivery. They have people on motorized vehicles, motor scooters, kind of like Vespas or Hondas or whatever. And they use the bike lanes. And they blow through lights. Yeah. Commercially used motorized scooters using bike lanes and blowing through lights. And nobody has the time to do anything about it. Well, those do have, right? Those, I don't know, are Vespas registered? If not, maybe they should be. I know it's a hassle, but they're not going to pay the money for cops to stop people. And humans, they're not going to have some high school kids give them a badge and say, watch this intersection. The only real way to deal with it is registration. Even make it a free registration. Or just for the cost of the registration, $5, whatever. So that when you blow through these intersections, endangering pedestrians and, believe it or not, endangering the lives of people in cars, because their lives will be forever changed. When they hit you, they're going to feel awful. I know somebody that killed someone, hit them with his car and drank himself to death. Felt so guilty. It was like suicide by alcohol. And the lawsuit, etc. Please, let's do something. The only thing I can think of is the registration. Make it free. I know you don't want the man with his thumb up your you know what any more than the man already is. But you're behaving badly, and a registration with automatic light. Look at that. It sees you go through the red light, sends you a ticket. And yes, your registration is free, but you get a ticket if you do that. That would be great. And you say, well, if they take, what are they going to do if I don't pay? Well, they could take away your driver's license if you don't pay. Your regular driver's license. Well, I don't have a driver's license. Okay, they take away your bicycle license. Well, I'll ride without a registration. Yeah, okay, then there has to be some more enforcement. I know it's a hassle, but it's also an issue. And people are just blowing it off. And when some old lady gets killed, then that is what it'll take, and not just one. Have to be multiple people get killed, and it'll have to be some lawmaker's grandma, or some lawmaker's wife, or some lawmaker's kid, some rich guy's kid. Then something will happen. So, till that time, be careful so you're not the one that gets killed. Really be careful. When you come to cross a road, remember that the bike lane is part of the road. And if you're into it, when you come to an intersection like that and you see with a lot of bikes, Get your camera out and videotape people just blowing through. Send it to your town. Let them know it's a thing. I get it. I understand bikes are better than cars. I totally get it. But you got to have some respect for people who walk. I have a brother who has a bike and is a pedestrian, so I wonder what he thinks. Also, he has a bike and a Vespa. I wonder what he thinks about Vespa use in bike lanes. I might as well finish this up, and include everything. E-bikes, people love them. Some people do. Electric bikes, better than cars? Oh, yeah, they're great. Great for the environment. They're great for, people who can't really ride a bike. They don't have the physical ability to ride a bike. However, they're getting faster. There are different classes of them, and they're getting faster and heavier because there's deliveries getting made in them. I don't know if they should be in bike lanes. What do you think? If they're going, some of them go 40 miles an hour and they weigh a lot and they're loaded down with goods. Should they be in bike lanes or in the street? Tough call. I suppose it depends on the class that you allow in the bike lane. Maybe a non-commercial class would be in the bike lane, but a commercial class in the street? I don't know. I mean, an electric bike is, approaching an electric motorcycle. It is a motorized vehicle. Do you want motorized vehicle on bike lanes? It's a tough call. Now it's not just cars and bikes and pedestrians. There's a whole group of levels of gray area between bikes and motor vehicles. You let me know. I guess that's it. Yeah, thanks. Oh, don't forget to maybe subscribe to the travel channel. Travel sucks now. Let me do it for you. And even when I do it, it sucks. But it's kind of my thing, so I kind of have to do it. Even though it does suck, I'm telling you, wait 5 years, let the prices go down. And while we're at it, this is unrelated, but even going locally to hotels and stuff, it's too expensive now. You got to stay home. Stay the bleep home and get some takeout. Go to a restaurant. Restaurants are not that out of control yet. But lodging around here, even up in Maine and Vermont, $400 a night for something that used to cost $1.50. I'm just not doing it. I could afford it, but I don't want to be a sucker. I don't want to be taken advantage of. It's only supply and demand keeps those prices high, and you keep on demanding and you keep on paying whatever it takes, then they're going to go higher and higher and higher. $400 a night, $800 for 2 nights. Is it that much fun? No, it ain't. I enjoy staying home. Take that money and do home improvement. All right? Take care.